that now a lot of people are privy to. And another thing that Ryan Garcia had whistleblown was the fake rapture. A lot of people are not going to be privy to when the rapture happens, and he mentioned that it's going to be something where people are not going to know the difference in between the real rapture and the fake one. So, what I mean by that is I studied, and reason why showed reason why I played the Bill Burr clip in the very beginning of the podcast was because that was actually 14 years ago in 2010 when he did a stand up talking about the microchipping of people, where he talked about that, as well as he joked about the microchipping of children. Okay, so reason why he was even joking about that was because I had stumbled upon a lot of different research back in 2010. Okay, that's really when my research actually started, back in 2008, 2009, and I had stumbled upon a lot of those things as far as Project Bluebeam, Illuminati. It started with Illuminati and Tupac. Okay, we're going to do two different documentaries. We're going to do not docs, basically. We're going to do some things as far as Michael Jackson goes, and we're going to do Tupac very soon. I've been doing my due diligences on Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson's going to be very, very soon. Mark my words here on this podcast. Michael Jackson's going to be the next one. So, with that being said, Project Bluebeam was one of the things that I had started doing research on. And Project Bluebeam, if you haven't watched the actual show on History Channel called Project Blue Book, I implore you to. I can't show you any clips from Project Blue Book, but I have showed already some things from the Skull and Bones, right? So with that being said, there's a lot of different things that are implemented in Project Blue Book. Number one thing you have to remember is MK Ultra. MK Ultra, I'm pretty sure a lot of you people have heard of already. So remember, we talked about MK Ultra. They've MK Ultra'd Ryan Garcia, Kanye West, so on and so forth, with different celebrities. That's one thing. MK Ultra is mind control. Okay, I want you to keep that in mind as we actually look at part 1 and 2 here on the podcast of Project Bluebeam and the breakdown of that, because I want everybody to be aware. I never thought we was going to have to, like I said, go into this Alice in Wonderland rabbit hole, but I want everybody to always be informed when they watch my shit. So, with that being said, we are going to now go into Project Bluebeam, because I want people to be informed when that actually happens. When this actually happens, I want people to know what the fuck they are seeing and going through. And this is back in 2010. Once again, this is back in 2010. I want people to understand, the reason why I'm showing the one back in 2010 is because this is how far the technology has gone past right in front of y'all, and y'all have not even noticed what they are predictive programming y'all for. So, this is part 1.
Canadian government official is warning we may be on the verge of intergalactic war, saying, quote, the Bush administration has finally agreed to let the military build a forward base on the moon, which will put them in a better position to keep track of the comings and goings of visitors from space and to shoot at them if they so decide.
I was introduced to the late Dr. Werner von Braun in the U.S.
Now, where have you heard that before already? That the government is putting things in place to basically track if aliens are even coming back and forth. We've already seen the fake Chinese balloons coming back and forth, and the different things that are coming through in the sky, and the UFOs that they've talked about. As far as we've also seen that there's an LED screen in the sky. We've basically seen that. It's basically a TV screen up there, okay, with all the different things that have been going on, and they've been telling us. So-called telling us that there are different things going on in the sky. And throughout the years, they've been saying, oh, there's UFOs, there's not UFOs. There's UFOs, there's not UFOs. They've basically been playing with it right in front of you.
The father of rocketry. In my first meeting with him, during that first 3.5 hours, he said to me, Carol, you will stop the weaponization of space, because there is a lie being told to everyone that the weaponization of space is now first being based upon the evil empire, the Russians. There are many enemies, he said, against whom we're going to build this space-based weapon system. The first of whom was the Russians, which was existing at that time. Then there would be terrorists. Then there would be third world countries. Now we call them rogue nations or nations of concern. Then there would be asteroids. And then he would repeat to me over and over. And the last card, the last card, the last card would be the extraterrestrial threat.
You heard it right there. She basically broke down what they would be saying as they were going to be leading up to it. And as we have been going along throughout these next 14 years, they have been doing exactly that. They have been saying it's the UFOs. Oh no, it's going to be an asteroid. Oh no, it's a UFO. Oh no, it's an asteroid. They have been doing that right in front of us. And they were going to play and wait for the last card to say, yo, it is actually aliens.
Pardon me, I don't mean to interrupt you, but doesn't this make sense? I mean, if in fact there are extraterrestrials and they're buzzing our planet, why wouldn't we want to take steps to defend ourselves from them?
The rapture is one of the most controversial topics in all of theology. Some Christians believe in it, all atheists mock it, and the New World Order may very well attempt to fake it. What would discourage Christians more than seeing New Agers, Buddhists, cult leaders, and corrupt con artist Christians raptured, while the Bible-believing faithful are, in essence, left behind? Why wouldn't the New World Order attempt to unite all the world's religions behind one deity by including them all in such an apocalyptic event? Surprisingly, the U.S. government actually admits to thinking about the use of this technology, though it denies it's followed through with such implementation. In an article entitled "Bees on the Battlefield and Other U.S. Military Experiments," published by the British news agency The Guardian on June 18, 2007, it discusses strange government projects, and I quote, "Then there's the prophet hologram, the projection of the image of an ancient god over an enemy capital, whose public communications have been seized and used against it in a massive psychological operation."
In 2007, they used a Black Ops operation to project a hologram of an ancient god that would represent that country that they were fighting. Are you hearing that? So imagine them fighting China and they have an ancient Buddha hologram suddenly appear in the sky, making it look like they're a giant warrior fighting against China. Imagine them having that back in 2007.
An Israeli cybernetics expert named Yitzhak Hayutman has even gone as far as to lobby the Arab world to allow him to project a holographic temple above the Dome of the Rock in an effort to summon whichever savior should take notice of it and actually show up. But does it even matter? Does this technology even exist? Or is it just crazy conspiracy theory? Let's take a look at the Army Research Lab, Adelphi, Maryland's progress report from November 96 through August 97. The session number ADA 3338490. The topic? A 3D holographic display using strontium barium niobate. Its abstract states, an innovative technique for generating a three-dimensional holographic display using strontium barium niobate is discussed. The resultant image is a hologram that can be viewed in real time over a wide perspective or field of view. The holographic image is free from system-induced aberrations and has a uniform high quality over the entire field of view. Interesting. Well, we've seen the chemtrails, and there's a lot of speculation about what they're being used for. Weather control and mind control are at the top of the list. But as you'll see in a second, chemtrails have been directly linked to barium, which is one of the main components of the Army's 3D holography display.
Could a strange substance found by a Southwest Arkansas man be part of a government test? Well, that's the question at the heart of a phenomenon called chemtrails, now getting widespread attention. Well, tonight, KSLA News 12 investigation reporter Jeff Farrell shows us the results of testing we had done about what's in our skies.
It seemed like some mornings it was just crisscrossing the whole sky. It was just like a giant checkerboard.
Bill Nichols snapped several photos of the strange clouds from his home in Stamps, Arkansas. They begin as normal contrails from a jet engine, but do not fade away like a normal contrail. Soon after, he saw particles in the air.
You know, because we'd see it drop to the ground in a haze.
Nichols then noticed the material collecting on the ground.
This is water and stuff that I collected in bowls. I had it set out in my backyard on my dad's pickup truck.
KSLA News 12 had the sample tested at a lab. The results? A high level of barium, 6.8 parts per million, more than 3 times the toxic level set by the EPA.
According to Section 5.6 of a military research paper entitled An Operational Analysis for Air Force 2025, an application of value-focused thinking to future air and space capabilities, military brainstorming as of May 1996 was researching, constructing, yet again, another holographic projection system. This time they were looking to implement an airborne holographic projector that would display a 3-dimensional visual image in a desired location removed from the display generator. The projector can be used for psychological operations and strategic perception management. It is also useful for optical deception. The picture you see here speaks for itself. This isn't depicted as a ground-based weapon, but rather one that would project a deceptive image hologram in the air. Could the chemtrails play a role in this? I'm no scientist, so I can't tell you absolutely yes or even maybe. But the chemical connection, barium, along with the military's own documents, lead me to think in that direction.
So, we've seen chemtrails before, right? We've seen the different smoke things through the sky, and everybody's like, oh, they're just the jets playing around and doing their little air show or whatever, right? That's them spraying the fucking chemtrails. If you haven't noticed, they've been doing that for God knows how long. But when you see them when you see the airplanes going through the sky, or the jets going through the sky, and you see the smoke going through that, that's the chemtrails coming behind them. That's what the chemtrails are. They're basically putting the fucking LED screen in the sky for you to not notice.
But if they've got some kind of crazy projection system, that in and of itself isn't going to convince anyone of anything. Unless, of course, God is a mute and he's going to come in complete silence. Let's face it, even the most action-packed movies are boring without some kind of a stunning soundtrack. Well, just in time for it to be exploited in the very same way, the technology now exists to beam sound right into your head. Strategy.com reports in an article entitled Death Ray Replaced by the Voice of God that the U.S. Navy is using non-lethal systems called LRAD, or Long Range Acoustic Device. This is being used right now in the Persian Gulf. Many small fishing and cargo boats ply these waters.
LRAD has been being used for the past 15 years. Not even 14. The past 15 years they've been using LRAD waves. And those LRAD waves have been practiced through surround sound. If you notice, surround sound, and when you're in a movie theater and you have like the 3D projection, basically, that's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. It's sound that beams directly into your head that makes you feel like you're right there you're watching.
And it's often hard to get the attention of the crews. With LRAD, you just aim it at a member of the crew and have an interpreter speak to the sailor. It was noted that the guy on the receiving end was sometimes terrified, even as he realized it was a large American destroyer that was talking to him. This apparently gave the Army guys some ideas, for there are now rumors in Iraq of a devilish American weapon that makes people believe they are hearing voices in their heads. And then there's the A&E television series called Paranormal State, which used a clever combination of a large billboard and cutting-edge technology to beam frightening ads directly into people who were walking near the show's billboard in the heart of New York City.
Who remembers this TV show here? I do. Now, I was a young kid, of course. Not a young kid. I was in my 20s, of course. I would say I was young. But I was in my 20s. And I do remember this TV show here. And it wasn't really a terrifying show, but the advertisement for it is what people didn't even notice was MK Ultra practice at its finest.
The advertising website MediaBuyerPlanner.com writes in an article entitled "Billboard Whispers into Pedestrians' Ears for A&E's Paranormal State" that an ad for A&E's ghost-themed series Paranormal State uses technology to transmit an audio spotlight from the rooftop speakers in New York's Soho directly into the ears of passers-by. Here's a sample showcasing how this concentrated sonic beam works. There are literally dozens of patents dealing with ways of beaming sonic transmissions directly into people's minds. This was once called telepathy. Today it's just modern-day technology and advertising. Yes, I understand this sounds absolutely bizarre. Where's the proof? Where is it? We've recently seen Al Gore and Prince Charles appear in holographic form. But do we actually know of any such encounter we can attribute holographic technology as to having been used as part of a supernatural psyop? I believe we do.
Well, we actually do. Now, I can't show it here, but the Tupac hologram that you guys saw in Coachella is a form of augmented reality. That is what they're actually talking about that they were going to use as far as hologram technology. Something that appears to be real that they are projecting from somewhere else that you can see and hear right in front of you. Now, China has actually developed, and Japan has developed, touchable holograms back in 2009 is when they actually discovered that. So they can actually touch one and it'll feel like it's right here with you and me. But let us move on to part 2 of what he is talking about here, because we do have that evidence of those holograms as well.
There are literally dozens of patents dealing with ways of beaming sonic transmissions directly into people's minds. This was once called telepathy. Today it's just modern-day technology and advertising. Yes, I understand this sounds absolutely bizarre. Where's the proof? Where is it? We've recently seen Al Gore and Prince Charles appear in holographic form. But do we actually know of any such encounter we can attribute holographic technology as to having been used as part of a supernatural psyop? I believe we do. It's just a matter of looking at information. ABC News by ex-CIA spy John Kiradiw. The topic was waterboarding. Kiradiw came out in an un-CIA-like fashion and proclaimed that waterboarding is torture. On the ABC News website, in an article entitled "Coming in from the Cold, CIA Spy Calls Waterboarding Necessary But Torture," the ex-spy described the effectiveness of waterboarding on captured al-Qaeda member Abu Zubaydah, and I quote, John Kiradiw, now retired, said the technique broke Zubaydah in less than 35 seconds. The next day, he told his interrogator that Allah had visited him in his cell during the night and told him to cooperate. Now, hold it for just 1 second. We believe this man is telling us the truth because he's playing nice and claiming that waterboarding is a bad thing. But look at what he just said. He's implying that when someone is tortured, they just have to say uncle, and then we stop. You would think that if Zubaydah was cracked in 35 seconds, that would mean he was spilling the beans only seconds after that.
No. So you mean to tell me that he saw Allah come visit him in his cell and made him say, okay, you need to confess before things get too real? Excuse me?
As in, okay, fine, I'll talk, please, no more. Not, oh my goodness, I'm glad you stopped. I didn't like that very much. I guess I'll go get some sleep, and I'll think about maybe telling you something tomorrow. And if we are to believe that it was indeed the waterboarding that broke him, then why would he bother telling his interpreter that Allah had visited him in his cell during the night and told him to cooperate? His interrogator knew he was waterboarded. He wasn't going to save any face with his interrogator. Remember, they broke him the day before, and they didn't get any information out of a quote-unquote broken man until the next day after he claimed Allah came to him in his cell and told him to cooperate. I'm not making this up. Watch for yourself. Pay attention to the body language. You decide for yourself if this makes any logical sense.
And that was one of the techniques?
Waterboarding was one of the techniques, yes.
And was it used on Zubaydah?
It was.
And was it successful?
It was.
What happened as a result of that?
He resisted. He was able to withstand the waterboarding for quite some time, and by that I mean probably 30, 35 seconds.
That's quite some time.
Which was quite some time. And a short time afterwards, in the next day or so, he told his interrogator that Allah had visited him in his cell during the night and told him to cooperate because his cooperation would make it easier on the other brothers who had been captured. And from that day on, he answered every question just like I'm sitting here speaking to you.
In a willing way?
In a willing way.
So in your view...
And after watching that, I can only come to one conclusion. This man was not waterboarded. If he was waterboarded, he was not broken during the waterboarding. He was broken through a psyop. If he was broken from the torture, he would have spilled the information right then and there. I think what you're seeing here is an experimental use of cutting-edge holographic technology to see if people will buy it, to see if it's believable. And just in case I'm right, I have to do what I am about to do. In the Bible, Jesus was very clear about what his return would be like. In Matthew 24, his disciples asked him point blank, what is the end of the world going to be like? And starting in verse 4, Jesus answered them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. So he warns us, don't be fooled. And then again in verses 23 through 26 we read, then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. And then in verse 36 we read, but of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. No man knows the hour. If anyone out there believes in a pre-trib rapture, I'm not going to argue the point. Just be sure you're spiritually prepared just in case. Pride enables us to believe we aren't appointed to physical wrath, while Christians all over the globe are being hunted and killed like animals. Spiritual wrath, however, is something very different from physical wrath, and we're promised salvation, and as such, we are exempt of spiritual wrath. But beyond that, We were warned repeatedly that others would come using Jesus' name. We were specifically warned to look out for false prophets and great signs and wonders. I, for one, can't imagine a greater sign and wonder than a false rapture meant to crush and demoralize the Christian community while indoctrinating the rest of the world into the Antichrist religious system. Satan's had an awfully long time to plan out this end times deception. I personally feel it would be a grave and dangerous mistake for any Christian to underestimate the cunning nature and deceptive power of the serpent.
So, as you guys know, what Project Bluebeam already is. I'm just going to let this play real quick. So, Project Bluebeam basically is the second coming, basically the rapture, the second coming of Jesus Christ, and it's going to be faked through the satellites. The satellites are basically going to project a hologram from up there, and from around the world, we're basically going to see different gods or goddesses depending upon where we are. So in America, we're going to see Jesus. In Asia, they're probably going to see Buddha, so on and so forth. They're going to basically connect it that way. When that actually happens, it's going to look like what the rapture is in the Bible. You're going to see people go rising up and this, that, and the third, and people are going to be thinking they're left behind, as you saw in the movie Left Behind or whatever. From there, we're going to see the big light show. The big light show is basically them making us think that aliens are coming to invade the rest of us. From there, it's going to create chaos and panic. And you already know what there is with the New World Order, what they say, creating chaos out of order. So they're going to create the chaos out of order from us panicking, thinking that we're under an alien invasion. As you can see here, there's a literal written breakdown of how this is all going to happen right in front of us. You see the heart machines right here. Those are the weather machines that are going to be predicting different things. Those same weather machines are actually going to be used for the sound that is going to be beamed right into our heads. It's going to be looking pretty crazy. So all of our technology that has us linked to our emails and things like that, right? All that shit is going to be basically going fucking haywire because our dumbasses have everything, like I said, linked to our systems and whatnot. So all of those things are going to be projecting the sound that we're going to be hearing from outside. That's another thing. We don't realize how much we are connected to our own technology. The cloud, as they say. As you can see here, the satellite basically projecting from above the world of how things are going to actually look. But once again, do not take my word for it. Do not take my word for it, as I always present facts and evidence of what we are about to see here. I can give you one example before we even do that, okay? I can give you just an innocent Japanese hologram ad in Tokyo. You see how realistic that looks for you? That's just a regular ad in Tokyo. Now, things get a little bit spookier because for the past week or two, I want to say even not even the past week or two, for the past 3 or 4 months, people have been seeing a very strange face up in the sky. I, for one, am going to go outside very shortly, and hopefully I'm going to be able to document this if I see the moon outside. But people have been seeing a very strange face by the moon. What do I mean by that? I'll show you.
Watch this. Watch this. All right, so I got my light on. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Woo! They up there, boy. They are up there.
They are literally playing with the technology right in front of our faces. This would be one of many individuals that would see this in the sky.
Today is the February 22nd, I believe. It is there. It is okay. I got some light. It's February 22nd. As you see, I have not cut away. There's no extra clippings. What you get is what you see. What you get is what you see. What you get is what you see. That's it right there, son. That's that one right there, son. Yeah, son. So it's February. I don't want to show my face because I just want to put the word out there. I hope everybody's out and recording this tonight. What you get is what you see. There it is. What you get is what you see. It's my camera. Now that's the face, people. It's up there again.
Sherry, come look at this.
There's a face. All right. It's kind of a face up there. There's a face. All right. Y'all see that? Now that's the face, people. It's up there again.
Sherry, come look at this.
It's up there again. There's the face. This is not an app. It's a face. Everybody's out here.
I'm saying loud and clear. This is not an app.
Everybody's out here looking. We're coming out here to see.
There's a bunch of people looking outside their houses, terrified at this giant face
Y'all see that?
is standing next to the moon.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Now, hold up. Let me zoom so everybody can see it. Nice.
Everyone is outside gathered looking
Zoom
around at this face that is right next to
Hey, y'all need to call somebody.
This was December 1st.
Yeah. Tell them we're out here, what we're looking at.
It happened around February as
now,
well.
y'all see this. You see it, right?
Yeah.
People
I'm just saying, there it is.
Seeing this face in the moon
That's a nice,
times of the night.
crispy face. Hey, somebody got another phone? I don't want to be the only one recording this. Okay, so
this gentleman was
tonight
inside
is that
of his
night.
house.
I said I was going to go out here and see if I could see this face thing that everybody's been seeing. So this is not an app, just to make sure y'all understand what I'm doing. I'm straight video, broadcasting, stuff like that. You see it?
Look.
Is it still there?
Look, there's a face.
Hold up, hold up. Oh, my camera. There it is. Yep.
Look.
Yep. I gotta sit still. It's cold out here.
The nose and everything.
That's huge. There it is. God, hold up. Let's make sure I can get this. Stupid phone is acting up again. I gotta get a better quality. Hold up. There it is. Massive. It's turning.
It's huge.
It's turning. That's turning. That's turning. There it is. There it is, people. The face. Hold up. Let's go inside. I gotta get a better view because that light. The light is distorting. The light is distorting it. Oh, God. I can't see nothing coming out here. Porch. All right. I can't see my steps. All right. There's the cars. All right. There it is. Hold up. There it is. All right. Zoom in. That's it. It's bigger than last night. Look at it.
It's bigger than last night.
She should call somebody. Hold up. Go inside and call somebody.
Now imagine when this Project Bluebeam actually happens. People are freaking out by just seeing a face by the moon. Imagine when Project Bluebeam actually happens.
There it is again. Stupid tablet. There it is again. Let me zoom in on it. I need to stop moving. Let me just zoom in slower. There we go. It looks so grainy. I'm trying to stay still, people. It just looks so grainy. I need a 4K camera or something. Same time. Oh, shoot, you scared me. This is scaring me. You scared me. Look at that. You see it? You see that?
So big.
Look at it. It's looking right down at us. You see how it's looking at us?
Yeah.
Look how it's looking at us.
Watch this. All right, so I got my light on.
I mean, we don't have to go any further, basically. You guys basically see it. You pretty much see it. The face in the moon. Like I said, I'm going to go out here in just a few minutes just to see if I can see it. I don't know if the moon is out right now where I'm at. We in a cloudy area. But, yeah, man. As I said before, I like to make sure everyone is always informed when they are tuning into my pod. We do third eye views around here. And when I say that, I felt obligated when Ryan Garcia. That's what I said. I understand that everybody was pussy as far as not want to talk about everything deeply as far as Bohemian Grove and trying to cover everything that Ryan Garcia was even whistleblowing about. That's where I come in at. Okay, I get it, but I just also want people to be informed about things like this because when the time comes, which is looking like it's going to be very soon, I want people to be very aware as far as when they watch my shit. I want them to at least be aware. One, tell another, tell another, tell another, tell a friend. You know what I'm saying? Keep everybody informed as far as what is going on out here and keep a third eye view as much as you can because it is a war going on outside. No man is safe from, no woman is safe from right now. It is a mental war going on outside that no one is safe from. So I want all of y'all to always be informed when y'all fuck with my podcast. And like I said, man, things are happening that we are not in control of. And I just want everybody to be very aware when it comes to dealing with the spiritual warfare that we are dealing with out here. Because it's a lot to deal with. It is a lot to deal with at the end of the day. I don't know if this helped anybody or if it didn't help anybody. I'm hoping it helped everybody at the end of the day.